In our previous lesson video, we dealt on special angles. We dealt on angles 45 degrees, we dealt on 30 degrees, and we also dealt on 60 degrees. So for these three angles, we evaluated the sine, cosine, and tangent of each. So let's take a quick recap. Sine 45 degrees is equals to 1 over root 2, which we simplified to give us root 2 over 2. Similarly, cos 45 degrees is also equals to 1 over root 2, which we simplified to give us root 2 over 2. And tan 45 degrees is equals to 1 over 1, which is equals to 1. This is for tangent of 45. This expression for 45 degrees. Now, if we proceed on to 30 degrees, sine 30 degrees is equals to 1 over 2. Cos 30 degrees is equals to root 3 over 2. And tan 30 degrees is equals to root 3 over 3. Moving on to 60 degrees, sine 60 degrees is equals to root 3 over 2. Cos 60 degrees is equals to 1 over 2. And tan 60 degrees is equals to root 3. Now, we recall that the special angles involve 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees. Now, let's try to understand the concept of that. I will teach you the most simplest way on how to evaluate the angles ranging from 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. We also have 270 degrees, and likewise we have 360 degrees. So let's begin. The first thing to do is to draw the Cartesian plane, and this is the positive x-axis. This is the positive y-axis. We also have the negative x and the negative y. Now, to fully understand this, we will just have a basic description or inscription that the x-axis belongs to, let's say the x-axis belongs to cosine function. Okay, such that everything on this angle, on this line, is equals to cosine, and the y-axis represents the sine function. Okay, proceeding on, we know that this is 0 degrees in the positive angle direction going anti-clockwise. This will be 90 degrees. We will have 180 degrees here. We will also have 270 degrees and 360 degrees. So with that done, let's take the analysis. Now, x-axis belongs to the cosine, y-axis belongs to the sine. So let's analyze that now. If x-axis belongs to the cosine, so anything on this cosine, the cosine of these angles, will be either positive 1 or negative 1. It will be positive when the angle is on this positive side of x, and it will be negative if the angle is on the negative side of x. So we are saying that cos 0 degrees, since it's on the x-axis, 0 degrees and 360 degrees are on the x-axis, we say that it is equals to positive 1. Similarly with cos 360 degrees, it is on the x-axis, and on the positive side of the x-axis, well, it will be positive 1. However, cos 180 degrees is on the negative side of the x-axis, and since x-axis belongs to the cosine function, this will be equals to -1. Now let's move on to the y-axis. The y-axis belongs to the sine function. So I believe you guess what this means now. So when it is on the positive y, is plus y plus 1. When it is on the negative y-axis, it is negative 1 rather. So I understand you mean that sine 90 degrees will be equals to positive 1 and sine 270 degrees is equals to what? Negative 1. Now, moving on. If x-axis belongs to sine, that means the expression of the values of the angles on x-axis will be equals to plus 1 or minus 1. Definitely, any value of sine on the x-axis will be equals to 0. So that means any value of sine 0 degrees or sine 360 degrees, okay, or sine 180 degrees will be equals to what? 0, because the x-axis belongs to the cosine function. Any expression of angle of sine on the x-axis will be equals to 0. Similarly, any expression of cosine function on the angles represented on the y-axis, it will be equals to 0 because the y-axis belongs to the sine function. Therefore, we are saying that cos 90 degrees and likewise cos 270 degrees is equals to 0 and is equals to 0. So, interesting. Now, we want to introduce a new concept of tangent. Okay, the tangent function of this now cannot be simplified because x-axis belongs to cosine, y-axis belongs to sine, and we are here using two-dimensional. There's no other axis here. So let's introduce a new expression for tan, which is tan theta is equals to sine theta divided by cos theta. Very simple. So therefore, if we want to evaluate tan 0 degrees, okay, let's leave it like this and let's move on. Tan 0 degrees will be tan sine 0 degrees divided by cos 0 degrees. So now looking at this, sine 0 degrees is equals to 0, cos 0 degrees is equals to 1. Cos 0 degrees is equals to 1. So we have 0 divided by 1. And this means we will have that tan 0 degrees is equals to 0. Also, let's move on to tan 90 degrees. Tan 90 degrees will be equals to sine 90 degrees divided by cos 90 degrees. Sine 90 degrees is equals to 1. Cos 90 degrees is equals to 0. So we have that cos 90 degrees is 0. And this will give us an expression of undefined, which we will just call infinity. It's undefined because 1 divided by 0 is infinity. Moving on, let's move to tan 180 degrees. So we have cos 180 degrees, sine 180 degrees divided by cos 180 degrees. Sine 180 degrees is equals to 0. Cos 180 degrees is equals to what? Minus 1. So it doesn't matter. 0 divided by minus 1 will be equals to what? 0. Moving on, let's go tan 270 degrees. Tan 270 degrees is sine 270 degrees because we are using the expression that tan theta is equals to sin theta divided by cos theta. So this will be tan 270 degrees divided by cos 270 degrees. So sine 270 degrees is minus 1, cos 270 degrees is 0, and this will also give us infinity, which we will tag as undefined. And in conclusion, the last angle, which will be tan 360 degrees. Tan 360 degrees is equals to sine 360 degrees divided by cos 360 degrees. Sine 360 degrees is 0, cos 360 degrees is 1. So 0 divided by 1, we will have 0 to give us tan 360 degrees. Now with this, now we can replicate what we have here Okay, that's tan 0. We have here tan 0 is equals to 0. Done. Tan 90 degrees is equals to infinity, undefined. And we move on to tan 180 degrees, which is equals to 0. So we have tan 180 degrees is equals to 0. Tan 270 degrees is also undefined. Tan 270 degrees is undefined. Tan 360 degrees is equals to 0. Tan 360 degrees is equals to 0. So now we have found the expression of the special angles. We have found 45 degrees, tan, sine, cosine, or tan, sine, and cosine, yes, and 30 degrees, 60 degrees. We have also expressed for 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. Now let's put all this in a tabular form. So we begin with theta, the sine theta, cos theta, and as well the tan theta. So we'll be looking at 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees in increasing order, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. After 180 we'll have 270 degrees and 360 degrees. So let's expand this. Just for ease while we write the answers. It's a table. Let's draw the lines. So we go back to the inception where we evaluated 0 degrees. 0 degrees, we can say that sine 0 degrees is equals to 0, cos 0 degrees is equals to 1, and tan 0 degrees is equals to 0. So we have sine 0 degrees is equals to 0, cos 0 degrees is equals to positive 1, tan 0 degrees is equals to 0. 30 degrees now. We evaluated 30 degrees when we dealt with this, the isosceles triangle of unit of 1. Or rather, sorry, a equilateral triangle with the units, sides unit of 2. And we use the bisector to get this to equals to 90 degrees. And we evaluated 30 degrees. So we saw that sine 30 degrees is equals to 1 over 2, cos 30 degrees is equals to root 2, 3 over 2, and tan 30 degrees is equals to root 3 over 3. So summarizing that there now, tan 30 degrees is equals to 1 over 2, cos 30 degrees is equals to root 3 over 2, and tan 30 degrees is equals to root 3 over 3. Moving on, we dealt on angles 45 degrees, where we use the isosceles triangle. So we evaluated sine 45 degrees, cos 45 degrees, and tan 45 degrees. Tan 45 degrees root 2 over 2, tan cos 45 degrees root 2 over 2, and tan 45 degrees is 1. So summarizing that, sine 45 degrees root 2 over 2, cos 45 degrees root 2 over 2, tan 45 degrees is 1. 60 degrees. So for 60 degrees now, we move upwards, just as we have summarized here. Root 3 over 2, 1 over 2, and root 3. Sine 60 degrees is root 3 over 2. Cos 60, 1 over 2, and tan 60 is root 3. We move on to angle 90 degrees, which is right here. Sine 90 degrees is equals to 1, cos 90 degrees is equals to 0, and tan 90 degrees is equals to infinity, which is undefined. So sine 90 degrees, positive 1, cos 90 degrees 0, and tan 90 degrees undefined. And 180 degrees now. 180 degrees is here. Sine 180 degrees 0, cos 180 degrees -1, and tan 180 degrees is 0. Sine 180 degrees 0, cos 180 degrees -1, tan 180 degrees 0. Moving on to 270 degrees, you can see cos 270 degrees is 0, sine 270 degrees is -1, and tan 270 degrees is undefined, which is infinity. So sine 270 degrees -1, cos 270 degrees 0, and tan 270 degrees undefined. And finally, for angles 360 degrees, sine 360 degrees 0, cos 360 degrees +1, and tan 360 degrees, which is 0. Sine 360 degrees 0, cos 360 degrees +1, tan 360 degrees is 0. So these are the expressions of the special angles from 0 degrees to 360 degrees.